There was no social media then because nobody could record or film whatever was going on. Life was great.
We got you something, basically, giving you your flowers while you're here, while you can smell them, and we just want to say thank you for the contribution when it comes to comedy.
And the comedian that you go and watch is really, really good. It can destroy you for 2 days because you sit there. I know.
I don't know if you're using us as an excuse or...
No, I'm going to vote after this.
You know what it is, Jack's Entertainment, Cassio D. Nova, out here, and today I'm honored. We got a legend, we got an icon. One of the South African icons, one of the, I want to say international now because I see you doing more international gigs. I don't want to say Uncle Marc.
You can say
Can
Uncle
I say
Marc?
Uncle Marc? You happy with
Call
that?
me whatever you want, man.
Uncle Marc. Marc Lottering. How you doing?
I'm good. Good to be chatting to you. How are you?
Yes, I'm great. Thank you
Excellent.
for taking the time. I know it's a big day today, so
I know.
I don't know if you're using us as an excuse or...
No, I'm going to vote after this.
After this, same,
And I
likewise.
just saw online, they said South Africans love voting early in the morning.
Yeah.
So, hopefully the queue won't be so hectic when I get there.
That's my strategy.
But then
too.
if there are no people, then there are no selfies, then what's the point of living?
Exactly.
I mean, what am I going to post?
Well,
What am I going to film that thumb again?
can I just say, some people should not be posting the thumb, okay? I think last elections you're like, what
It's
is
the
that?
only
Is that
day,
your
it's
thumb?
the
Is that
only
your
day
toe?
you're allowed to give the finger, and it's a good thing.
Yeah. Otherwise, how you doing?
It's
You've been busy?
Yeah, 2024 is a lovely year. I don't know what it's been like for you.
I mean, thinking about like 2020, and
Yeah.
I think it's been more stable. I think everything's like more normal now.
I find I'm over, I've been saying to people, no, it's been a great year, and mostly people look back at me and go, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and restrain myself.
Yeah.
And I'm well, thank you. It's a lovely year.
It's a lovely year.
But I've been, I think it's a thing of if you're creating work all the time, and you see in the work how you change.
Yeah.
And become a better person. That for me is crucial.
Yeah.
And it especially happens in comedy when you look at yourself from the outside and you watch it evolve and you go, wow, man, I was so dumb 4 years ago. Look at that now and what I would say about that
That's
now.
amazing. And
So I like that.
You've been doing comedy for, I would say, 2 decades now.
You were just an idea with your parents, when I
yeah.
started doing comedy. They were talking about you outside the clinic. Should we do this?
Most likely.
Should we do this?
Most likely. And
Should we have this kid?
So Jerry Seinfeld has this thing saying basically, you are, in terms of like doing comedy, say if you're doing it for a year, then you're 1 year old. If you're doing it for 30 years, then you're 30 years old. Do you think it's true?
That makes a lot of sense to me. It's the first time I've heard that quote. But then that would make me, 25 or 26?
Oh, yeah?
That would make me 25 or 26.
And how have you evolved in terms of like, if you remember getting on stage like the first time, trying out bits, and then...
Sure.
Do you have like turning points in terms of like... Okay.
Yeah, my main point of turning, my main point of evolvement, if that is even a word, is my rates are a lot more now.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Yeah,
Everything's going up. So.
I know my worth.
Yeah.
No, of course I've evolved. The thing about comedy is you look back, and I think everything was for its time. But I think life's like that as well, right? Yeah. You look back and you go, I would not have made that. Today I would not have made that decision. And with stand-up it is, I would not have said that, or maybe I would not have said that in that way.
Yeah.
I was crazy then. So I think, I can see it clearly.
And in terms of your comedy, I'm just curious in terms of like, how conscious are you in terms of the future? Like looking back, like when I was young, probably said a lot of dumb stuff, hopefully wasn't on camera.
Yes.
But How conscious are you? Like, hey, maybe 5 years from now or 10 years from now, this is not going to age well. Like, do you think about that, or it's like in the moment? This is funny.
Yeah, maybe I do now because of this thing.
Yeah, cancel culture.
So we are all very aware of everything before we post. And similarly for me, before I speak, I like to know that I'm able to take responsibility for everything that comes out of my mouth.
That's another question I was going to ask you.
But the thing is, when I started comedy, it was before social media, and I think the only reason that some people still respect me now is because there was no social media then, because nobody could record or film whatever was going on. Life was great, but now you would have been cancelled.
I've been watching a lot of your stuff, and I must say it kind of like aged well, because Eddie Murphy, like Delirious, Raw, that was funny then, but I tried watching it recently and I was like, no, I can't watch this.
I'm glad you're watching my old stuff because I can't. But I can't even watch stuff I did yesterday. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this back because I don't know how comfortable you are about watching yourself. But some of my friends are so weird that my partner listens to his voice notes that he sends to people. After he sent it to them, then he listens back to his own voice. Now, I believe that you shouldn't be living with me. You should be in an institution, because who can listen to their own voice and who can watch themselves like that? So I'm glad you're watching the old stuff.
There's a like growth you can see in terms of production and like it's next level now.
And ego. We all want to look good. I think when you start your career, you're just happy to be filmed. Like you'll do anything to be filmed. Now, because sometimes I see on my website, I see stills of what I was wearing when I was shooting some stuff.
Like, what?
And I think, I was surrounded by a lot of people who didn't love me, man. Somebody released me from that dressing room with that bow tie that looks as though I could rest my whole face. I could take a nap on the bow tie.
I gotta ask about the iconic look, the afro, and the white spot. Is it natural?
Yes.
Or is it a conscious decision? So it's natural.
This is the white spot's the only natural thing about me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's the only real thing about me.
That's cool. And when that grew, you're like, perfect. Let's go.
It's amazing. When you grow up with something, you think it's the most normal thing. So I started looking around at other people around me and going, why don't you have a white patch? What's wrong with you? Shame. And then I realized that there were not many people floating around the classroom or the school with the white patch. Well, nobody in fact at our school. And then I grew the afro when I started doing comedy, and it became more pronounced. So obviously you kind of become known as the comedian with the afro and the white patch. And then 3 days ago, on social media, somebody sent me a picture of a young model. I don't know if
I saw that and I was like,
I don't know if he's from Cape Town or where in the world he's from, and he's got an afro with a white patch.
And I was like, that is the look. I think next Halloween I might be Uncle Mark.
Do that.
It's iconic.
But how fast my heart was beating when I saw that picture, because I thought, to produce shows now, it's so expensive, and the last thing I want is a Father's Day card. Somebody going, remember that one night you had 5 tequilas and you said, I bet that I don't have to be straight the whole weekend. Let's try this. So, because there's this kid with a Marc Lottering white patch, and I thought, I just want to click like on social media, but please don't come visit me and sing I Love You Daddy. Not going to be dealing with that. Not in 2024.
That's a classic song, by the way. I Love You Daddy.
Yeah, every
Father's Day, you just hear that. And we got you something. Basically, giving you your flowers while you're here, while you can smell them. And we just want to say thank you for the contribution when it comes to comedy. Thank you for what you did for the country in terms of inspiring us. I mean, when you started, we didn't have like Robbie Collins. We didn't have with your scene poems. We didn't have like a lot of people kind of like doing it. You brought like a different perspective in terms of like colored people, like, and we appreciate
Why does
that.
everyone assume I'm colored? I'm white.
Oh my gosh!
But I'll take the flowers. I'm so white.
Wow, you can identify as anything nowadays.
Thank you.
So thank
this
you
is
very
amazing.
much.
Giving this to me while I'm alive.
Yeah, that's a whole
Brilliant.
concept
I
of just,
appreciate
you know,
it. I appreciate it so
pleasure,
much.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then just in terms of your specials,
Yes.
you have a lot of characters,
Yes.
right? I'm just curious in terms of inspiration behind the characters. I know Auntie Mal, you say your mom kind of like inspired that character. Is that true?
I've even got the Auntie Mole
You got
tattoo
a tattoo of Auntie Mal.
on my arm. Hey,
Is your mom's name Mal?
Let's strip. My mom's name is not Mole.
Oh yeah.
But there it is. So it's on my arm every night, and when I go on stage, well, it should be on my arm every night because it's real.
Yeah.
When I go on stage, I feel, with my parents passed on years back.
Oh yeah.
So I feel that my mom is still with me, and my dad definitely, because people say, because my father was a man in the church. He was a
I was going to
preacher.
ask, is Pastor Brandon inspired by your dad?
Someone's been doing their research.
Yeah, I do my research.
I appreciate that. It's so great to be interviewed by someone who has matric. So,
Thank you. I mean, people are running for president. So, hey.
you know, so my father was a preacher, and my mother obviously is the pastor's wife. So apparently I move on stage like a pastor.
Yeah.
And then I have this, and my character Auntie Mo, my mother's name is not Mo, but the character is her.
Yeah.
So in that way, you know, they're with me all the time, which I've only discovered in later years. When that reality dawned on me, I was like, wow, you know. And this is the thing. I think when people, when you lose people in your life, you know, there are people watching this who've lost people in their lives, and or parents, whatever. They, you know, it's not the end. They can be with you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, if there was a strong connection and there was a lot of love, you'll see them and you'll experience them in different ways.
And the DNA too. Yeah.
So it's great now because they're with me, but I don't have to do an EFT.
You don't have to pay
because when they were alive, you know, I took care of my parents. But now it's a win-win for all of us.
And I gotta ask you in terms of the character, just going in deeper. Your dad obviously being a pastor.
Yes.
Right? So my question is, do you think comedy is like a calling?